Nelson, TaShawn.
Oh, it's saying you're not.
Good morning, everyone. It's 6 a.m. on the 6th of February, 2026. I am near the Sarasota headquarters. And Dr. Kiltz is live from his studio at home. And Alia is reading actually right next to me, right there. And today we have TaShawn Davis. We're going to be having a conversation with her. Let us know where you're watching from, please. Put it in the chat. And if you have any questions for TaShawn, who has a great goal in life, and that is to get rid of type 2 diabetes in at least 1 million people. I'm going to help you with that, TaShawn. I live in Orlando, near Orlando. We're going to have to meet.
Yes.
If you have any questions, put them in the chat. And hashtag KMT for a chance to win what? A hat. Okay. So
the Kiltz hat, Kiltz Health, or we got all of them these days, right? I got my Meat Stock hat, my Healing Humanity hat. We got all sorts of hats. Which one are you wearing? What's the most important hat that you wear every day, TaShawn?
Nurse, mama.
I left my hat in the room.
Grandma. Oh, wow.
Grandmama. Yes. I have a lot of hats that I wear.
That's my wife's favorite.
Yes. I think I seen that on YouTube or Facebook. Congratulations.
I mean, nothing better than our children. And so tell us a little bit about what inspired you to want to help heal so many of our children's children.
Yes. So I've been
Dr. Kiltz, let me read something I have about her. All right.
Okay. All right. Hold on, TaShawn. Hold on.
Okay. We're joined by Coach TaShawn Davis. She's a registered nurse who's bridging the gap between clinical care and the community. TaShawn is a holistic health coach and author of Uproot the Cravings and Sugar Deception. She's on a massive mission. I love this. To help 1 million people reverse type 2 diabetes by simplifying physiology. But what's really fascinating, Dr. Kiltz, is that her journey into proper human nutrition started when she noticed her own memory slipping, leading her to the discovery that dementia is essentially type 3 diabetes. TaShawn, welcome to the meetup.
Thank you.
So go ahead and introduce yourself. And what was Dr. Kiltz's question? Let us know what drives you, and tell us your own story. Time is yours.
Okay. So yes, I've been a nurse for over 20 years. Home care nurse. I've worked at the VA also for 12 years. It's actually when I got started, when I learned about the Atkins diet over a decade ago, because we had like a challenge on our floor to lose weight, and they introduced the Atkins diet to us at that time. But before that, I was just, I had a little bit of weight, maybe 10 pounds that I wanted to lose. And so I tried everything like vegan, vegetarian. And then I started noticing some of my own health issues. And I think a lot of people were talking about like candida at the time. But I used to get UTIs every single month, as well as yeast infections. And it wasn't until my memory started to slip, I'm like, something is not right. And that's when I went deeper into the research. Having young kids at the time, I wanted to always be health conscious, even if I didn't know what that meant. I just searched, like, what is it? And of course, you get on the go on these shows on my place was YouTube, because I'm a visiting nurse. I just need to listen to something constantly. And so everything sounded convincing about vegetarianism. I mean, they convince you to the T. This is where your yeast is coming from. As a nurse, I should have realized this, sugar that drives it and everything. But it wasn't until, I started to lose my memory. And I'm like, well, why? I'm trying to eat better. I'm doing things better, but I was not aware of the insulin resistance, and then also the fat aspect of it. I think that's what really got me into keto, was learning that you can eat this fat, and that we were afraid. Like, we teach our patients, don't eat, fatty meat, don't eat salt, don't eat cholesterol. And as my journey went on with doing home care, I'm seeing people sicker and sicker and sicker following the recommendations. And so I'm like, what is happening? Like, you're following all of these things and you're sitting in front of me with these disease processes that don't make sense. So it really started to, I just did a lot of deep research and found, I think Dr. Berg first, and Dr. Berry and Annette Bosworth. And I read up on a lot. Like, when I first started, I went to the library and just checked out as many books as I could on physiology, whoever was talking about memory issues, because I wanted my memory back. And, the research was overwhelming. The stories that people were telling were overwhelming, from chronic infections to memory loss. And it was like, there's no way this lines up with physiology better than anything that I've read, watched, or anything. And the more I listen to people like Dr. Kiltz and other physicians and scientists and everything, I'm like, this is overwhelming, this evidence, and I can't deny it, like, because of the physiology. And so, even when, or if this is anything, I've stayed, it's been about a decade or a little over a decade that I've low carb, low sugar. I'm more a ketovore, but I don't really care about vegetables like that, but I'll eat them if they're in front of me. But yeah, it's overwhelming. For me, and even as I coach clients, it's the fat that we need. It's the fat. Women need the fat for hormones. We need the fat for our brain. We need the fat. And so we can do all the rest of the things to try to get healthy. But if we miss the fat, the protein, the cholesterol, we're really not doing our brain a good service. And that's why I do it, because I don't want to lose my memory. I don't have a history of dementia in my family or anything, but I did notice the signs, walking into a room and not being able to remember what you went in there for. Not remembering if I put on lotion on my face, like, did I just put lotion on or not? Like, and it was really bad, because I'm like, that's just seconds. And I'm like, I can't live like this. I need my brain. So that's how I personally got started.
Very good. If you have any questions for TaShawn, put them in the chat, please. Q. Go ahead, Dr. Kiltz.
So, TaShawn, I started off in internal medicine after medical school at Sepulveda VA, and I just loved the VA and taking care of the amazing people there. I noticed that in all the hospitals that I've ever been affiliated with, they hang sugar water, and the meals are full of plant sugars and low in fat. It's always about non-fat milk and pancakes and all this stuff. How is it that our medical system seems to be feeding us the information? And even somewhat in the new food guidelines, they're still institutionalizing us. And this is our biggest problem. And what are the things that you've noticed or things that you think we could all help do to change the paradigm?
Yes, it's just boots on the ground for me. I love that we are talking about it in America. Like, it's one of the main things that we have, even with the changes, whether, you know, good or bad. I think they're way better than they've been. And so it gives me the opportunity, as I sit in front of patients day after day, to talk about it. But one of the things that really got me, so I can give a couple of my patients' stories. Whenever I was doing the research initially, what happened was one of my patients was a vegetarian. This is the story I wrote in my book, Sugar Deception, one of the patient testimonies and stories. But what happened is he was sitting in front of me, a vegetarian with a quadruple bypass. And then it just became more and more common. And I'm like, what is happening? Because it's supposed to be the meat, right? That clogs our arteries. It's supposed to be, you know, the fat that clogs. But this man doesn't even eat meat. He doesn't even eat, you know, of course, vegetable oil or whatever, but it's mostly sugar with the baklava and all the things. And it's like he was of Indian descent, so that's why he was vegetarian. But it was like, so I understand this. As I'm understanding it, I'm trying to teach it to the patients. And I've been able to contact some of my patients' doctors who I sit in front of with diabetes and ask, you know, can we put them on a lower carb or lower sugar diet? Try not to say a name, because doctors are, if you say ketovore or carnivore or keto, they're like, no, heart attack. And I'm like, hey, how can we just maybe can I help them learn this low carb, low sugar diet? And it'll help with, you know, their health, you know, in a better way. And most doctors are like, yeah, go ahead, do what you need to do. And I'm like, all right. So I begin to talk about it. But my biggest thing is educating the patients on a level that they can understand. So bringing in simple physiology and helping them to understand, for every 1 gram of carbohydrate, your body holds on to 3 to 4 grams of water. So maybe the inflammation isn't coming from the salt so much, because, you know, whenever you have a lot of insulin in your body, I call insulin like this rogue thing that just takes over everything. And there's a hormone called aldosterone in your kidneys, and that doesn't work right. So that it's a hormone that tells your body to hold on to water or to release water. You know, that could be the reason why your blood pressure is high. You know, just getting it simple to the patient. So we can educate and try to talk to the doctors, but simply doing the physiology with my patients is what I do. And that's why I've written the books. I even take the books into my patient's house, like Sugar Deception. It talks about how sugar affects every single system of the body. So it doesn't matter whether it's skin or whether it's, you know, the heart or even the lungs. It talks about it. And so I'm like, my books are on Amazon, but why not just take a picture of what I've written here? Because it talks about the myths. It talks about what exactly is happening, why sugar or insulin. I call it sugar because they understand whenever I say insulin, they think that's the thing you put in your body. You have to do a little bit more explaining. And so I talk about all of that, and then I'm just take the picture. And then it also talks about doctors who are continuing in this field to study or that are practicing, or scientists. So simply getting the word out, you know, though I've written the books, I always point them also to other people who are really doing it and really in practice, so that they can understand it better.
Is this complicated, or is it really massively simple? And we've all made it so hard to understand. And I just wonder, are we really meant to eat plants? And are we really meant to eat a low-fat diet? Is that really where we're all just kind of like twisted up? But we don't want to we don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way some of the doctors put it. In hunter-gatherers, we used to kill something, drag it home, eat it from root to tail. And so it's, you know, and then whenever, you know, it was time for the winter to come, there'd be, you know, a little bit of berries on the tree, but they were meant to fatten us up, you know, for the winter, just in case there wasn't anything that we could search for. And so if we were to eat in season the correct way or whatever, you know, even as we're eating fruits and vegetables all year long, what are we really eating? Because, you know, they may be shipped over on a hot truck, or if it doesn't have seeds, what is it? You know, because the Bible says we're meant to reproduce after our own kind. And so if there's no seeds, we're eating these hybrid or these factory made vegetables and chemicals and all of these things that are not really serving us. They, you know, it's a magical. It's got, I love whenever I do live talks or whatever, I talk about the banana, and everybody, if they come back and see me anywhere, they're like, you're talking about the banana. I've not eaten a banana ever since. I'm like, it's sugar. And then you have this little bit of potassium. But, you know, once they understand how the sugar brings out the insulin and everything is affected, they really understand it at a different level.
So isn't insulin just a normal hormone that's just trying to do the job it's supposed to do? But because we're eating a plant-centric, low animal fat diet, we're just screwing up our normal evolutionary, beautiful
physiology. Yeah.
Temples and physiology. Thank you, Doc. See, probably that damn sugar is trying to muddle.
When is the last time you had sugar? You're on the spot. No.
Are there any civilizations that we can look at and say, wow, their plant-based diet made the whole civilization powerful as individuals?
No, I can't think of any.
No.
I mean, even I believe one of the doctors were talking about the gladiators, you know, because they were meant to just do the thing, the fighting for that time. But their diet, I think, mostly consists of carbs and sugar and all the things just for that small amount of time. Like it's just so they can stay enslaved or whatever to do.
So
the things.
You see patients, and I'm sure you're one of the few probably nurses that is that you're probably one of the few that is asking them, what do you eat, right? What do they tell you? Do you get, I eat healthy?
Yes. I'm doing everything.
What does that mean?
Yeah, and exactly. That's what is so frustrating. Like over the last, so in my early days of nursing, 20 years ago, I used to see people 70, 80 diabetics. And, you know, I'm like, oh, that's normal. But then I'm like, whoa. First of all, I'm going through my memory loss at the time. And then I'm seeing patients 40, 50 strokes, diabetes. They call it pre-diabetes. I'm like, no such thing. You know, all the things. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, why are we getting younger and younger? And like seeing observationally this, because I'm in houses every single week. I know what you're eating. I know what you're saying. And I see the whole grain bread. I see the bananas. I see the oatmeal. I see the orange juice. I see the Ensure, which I'm just, that right there is I'm like, yeah, I had to do a whole some post on the Ensure situation. But
ensuring your enslavement.
Mm-hmm.
Ensuring your enslavement.
That's a good one, right?
Remember, we're domesticated animals because of the governmental guidelines, which are controlled by the masters of the money. Yeah. Right. All of the those with a lot of money or wanting more money hung out with Epstein. You know who that is, right? The stories.
Oh my God! Are you going controversial here?
I did, but I'm sorry. The point is that because people are chasing money rather than recognizing we're really there to release our enslaved brothers and sisters from the misery of ensuring their enslavement.
I love the way you just put that all together. Now, what can you do for boost? We're boosting there now.
Well, look, I never chase after anyone. Yeah. We are individually inspiring our brothers and sisters to change their lives, because even those that share the enslavement story of Ensure are also damaged. And we want to free them from the misery of a diet that is domesticating all of us.
Yeah. So the Ensure, really serious. Like, I think what frustrates me the most as I go in the patients' homes, it's so, the one that really gets me is the ones with cancer, because that's the ones that constantly get the Ensure. And I'm like, this is an easy teach. Okay. So do you know, whenever you get your test, one of the tests is a PET scan. So I start there to try to educate the patients to not want to drink this stuff. And so I'm like, do you know that the PET scan, I just tell them it's like sugar water being put into your body, and cancer loves sugar so much that it attracts that. And so they use sugar to test for cancer. I know you've heard that cancer loves sugar, but here's one of the reasons why. And then I go into, okay, and then do you know that insulin can be considered a growth hormone? So whenever you're putting sugar in your body, the insulin in your body comes out, and it can cause, abnormal things to grow too. And so they, understand it better. And I'm like, well, let's look at your Ensure. We have some corn syrup solids. We have some vegetable oil. We have, why is this good? And then a way to teach them, like, the first ingredients in this too is what's in there the most. And so I tell them, if the doctor really wants you to get well, maybe try bone broth and put an egg in it. And this is way better than an Ensure. But they're really concerned. Mommy has to eat. And so the thing that I also go back to, whenever you're eating something that's not nutrient dense, your body's looking for something to help metabolize it. And so it's going to pull from your own stores of nutrition, your vitamin B, all of these things that are already stored up. Is going to make it worse, because of course they're telling them to eat potatoes, mashed potatoes, and applesauce, bread, and all of these things. And I'm like, you're not helping, you're actually harming, because now you're pulling away from the stores that your body has used. So you may gain this weight, but whenever you're gaining it, it's going to be around the wrong place. It's not going to be gaining bone and muscle and immune system. It's going to be gaining visceral fat and the wrong fat. So you don't need that. It's not about gaining weight. It's about gaining the strength that you need to get through these chemo treatments and things like that. So I really try to tell them bone broth and eggs, if that's all you can do. Would you like? Because if you can eat pudding all day long, surely you can eat eggs. So,
well, raw eggs, cream, butter, cheeses are far healthier, high in fat, right? Mm-hmm. Raw and fatty. None of this homogenized, pasteurized, and made into basically a low fat meal, right. Which essentially fat. Being obese causes no disease. None.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
None.
And even the opposite, the doctors will say, just gain the weight or just lose the weight, just lose the weight. I'm like, yeah, I still see patients that have lost the weight and they're like, my blood sugars won't go anywhere. They won't go down. I'm like, yeah, because you haven't focused on the right thing. And that's my main thing. Understand it. If you go back and you do something that is not good, like if you decide I want to eat these donuts or whatever, you'll be less likely after coaching with me or hearing, a talk with me, because you'll understand what's happening. But you have a right to choose whatever you want to do with your body, but you're going to understand it. And so losing weight does not equal health either. That's why my business is Health Beyond Weight Loss, because you're still, if you don't focus on that insulin aspect, you're going to still be sick. I had a patient that was like, I'm fasting and I hardly eat anything yet. So she came to me in home care after having several episodes of diabetic ketoacidosis. She went to her doctor. She'd been a diabetic for decades. She went to her doctor. Her doctor gave her more insulin, sent her to an endocrinologist. The endocrinologist, more insulin. Then the endocrinologist told her to go ahead and go to a class to eat. Now, this is one of the main points why I'm like, I have to get this out. I have to offer whatever I have, because the diabetic, after going to the diabetic education, that's when she ended up in the middle of the street with her scooter spinning around in a diabetic coma. Wow. And I'm like, you just went through all of that. You have an endocrinologist and you have a place that's supposedly teaching you how to eat. My goal is to open up a center, here in Orlando that combats that thing. Because I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I'm in the homes, but you're going to these places that is teaching you how to eat that just caused you to get sicker than what you were. And working with me in 3 weeks, your blood sugars are normal. Your blood pressure is normal. This cough that you had is gone. Like,
these people have type 2 diabetes.
Type 2.
So they technically don't have any problem with insulin.
Correct.
They simply are eating a deadly diet, which is helping the real drug dealers. The real biggest killers are actually the standard medical system, not the heroin dealers on the street. Sorry. I mean, it is what
it is. They're the mafia.
Are masked federal agents.
Yeah, it's sad because it's
doctors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, they all fun, and they're like, my nutritionist, my dietitian. And so they'll start talking. I'm like, yeah. And then everything in moderation. I'm like, that's a lie. Never say it again. Because if you put poison in your body moderately, you're going to still die, And so then I tell them they're funded by Pfizer and Quaker Oats. These dietitians, whenever you go to the conferences or whatever, you'll see the advertisement for these things. And so they don't know, they mean well. It's not like they're trying, but you're supposed to eat the rainbow and you have to do this. But if they take the time to educate or go beyond that education, because I'm like, should I just go for nutrition and all of that, add another degree? I'm like, so I can just toss it out the window. I mean,
do they mean well?
I think some of them just don't know. I mean, the dietitians themselves, like nurses mean well, doctors mean well, but the companies that are funding them probably they don't mean well.
Yeah. But I have several good friends that are dietitians, and they have been trained the traditional way.
Correct. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I love them. You're teaching the wrong thing to your patients.
Well,
yeah.
I think your online presence touches a million people. And this social media, social medicine, giving the power to the people, even, our intention at Kiltz Health is to empower everyone to be their own life coach, their own health coach. And a certification, I mean, I don't want people to think this certification means you have some clout that is any higher or any lower than anyone with any PhD. It's actually, we all have the power that's the same.
Yeah.
We don't need some certification to go out there and recognize, hey, I'm just a human being. And in my ancient nature, did I eat porridge all the time? Or did I go hunting for the massive animal and eat nose to tail, organ meats, and I feasted on fat?
Yeah, preferred it. Yeah.
And so our negative judgment of obesity is pathologic. We make people feel bad about them. Now we have the GLP-1s. Yeah. Right? Let's make them cheap and hand them out to everyone so you could just eat whatever you want and you'll be skinny. But Dr. Nelson, is that enough to save people?
You have to change totally the way you're eating. Definitely. That's the first step. And that takes care of more chronic diseases than any drug will ever take care of them. Absolutely.
What are your thoughts, TaShawn, on allulose, stevia, monk fruit? Some of these have no caloric value. Are they good for us?
Well, I mean, it depends on where you are on that spectrum of getting better. I feel like the first thing we all need to do is get rid of things. Like you said, there is we always want to add something to help the magic secret or whatever, like the GLP-1s. For me, I always tell people, take things away before you do anything. If you have an issue with insulin being this rogue thing, you can add all the vitamin D and all of that, but if insulin is sitting on the cell, then you're not going to be able to uptake it. So, but as far as like the sugars and stuff like that, those what you've named, I recommend them, yes, because some people have to have a gap and a bridge to get out of that addiction. Allulose, we've actually had where we do our classes and we bring food in, where it actually has brought down people's blood sugar. So, and there's, some studies. So I don't like what you named specifically. I'm like, those are okay. If you have a issue with needing something sweet, it's better than the alternatives. It's better than honey. It's better than, the alternatives.
Although maybe not. My suggestion is that we're measuring glucose, but that's not the problem. It's glycation. And correct. So ultimately, how do you measure allulose levels? Anyone measuring allulose serum levels?
I mean, nobody's measuring insulin either, but yeah.
Well, but again, insulin is a natural, normal hormone that only responds to amino acids and sugars.
Yeah.
And so we blame insulin where insulin has nothing to do with it. It's all basically a diet of low fat plant sugars, fake sugars and all, which are glycating. And glycation is rust.
Correct. And AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Yeah, I mean, it is, we have to meet, for me, where we are, and if it is any better to, because if I can tell people all day long, go ahead and go vegetarian and vegan. They're like, cool, we'll start next week. Cut the sugar, cut the carbs. What am I supposed to eat? I can't eat anything. There's nothing. I'm like literally eating protein and all of that.
What are we eating? What are we eating tonight, Dr. Kiltz, in your house? Oh, he's not here.
I know we're eating.
But literally, you can go outside, and if you see a skunk, you can eat a skunk. If you see a roach, you can eat a roach. You can. I don't mean to be nasty, but I'm saying there's way more stuff to eat than what you're thinking about. Like, we are a lot of times creatures of habit. And so even if I tell them to change their eating habits, you already were eating oatmeal every morning with bananas and orange juice, and you were already doing that. Now I'm telling you, switch it up, eat eggs and bacon. And you're like, oh, what else? What else? I'm like, try that first. So
oatmeal with banana gotta be one of the worst things you can do to your metabolism. And some people continue to insist that it's healthy. Let's take some questions. Now, the first one here is very controversial.
Oh, gosh.
The first one in the queue there.
Oh, it's right there. Okay. What do you think about what Maria and Craig said this week, that high-fat carnivore can cause diabetes and overflow the glycocalyx? Mind blown.
TaShawn?
I'll let y'all take that one. I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't know.
All questions are for the guests.
Oh, I'm like, I'll let you. I didn't see anything that they were saying. I didn't see it, so I don't know.
They believe in lipotoxicity. They don't like a high-fat keto or carnivore diet. It's all about what is it what they call it? Protein sparing modified fasting.
Oh yeah. Protein sparing modified.
So what do you think about lipotoxicity, Dr. Kiltz?
What was the question?
The question is, what do you think about what Maria and Craig Emmerich said this week? And this is not this week. This is their beliefs. They've been for years saying that high-fat carnivore can cause diabetes and overflow the glycocalyx.
False. Because the glycocalyx is damaged by protein sugar diet, high plant lean meat diet, and so the glycocalyx is basically our barcode, our transmitter receiver, and it's damaged due to a high protein, high plant, a high sugar diet, low fat. And fat is not poison ever. It is actually the battery and the storage system and the energy of our human body. There is no evidence whatsoever that fat is harmful. And basically, if you're skinny in a famine, your fertilizer is deadly. And we're hyperphagic, and we consume the amount of foods and sweets because in our ancient nature, as a omnivore, more like a bear, you did everything you can to get as fat as you can because there was no food coming very quickly. And we're completely illogical. Insulin is nothing to do with it. A plant protein, low fat diet is only problem. And I'll show you, let's see if this comes out there. Bighorn Mountain. So there's the food we should all be eating. Is that simple?
That looks great.
That's simple. I mean, let's not make this complicated. We don't need scientists. We don't need thick books. We don't even need a life coach of what to eat. We know that's our ancient food, but the system made you afraid to eat that, which basically made us slaves, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners. That really is the simple problem. And the science, Maria and Craig are my friends. I love them dearly. And I honor them for the work that they've been sharing and helping people. But a low-fat diet temporarily to lose weight because you want to lower your calories, great. But that's I don't know if I've got the right word is. We all want to look skinny, but that is not survivable in whatever's coming in this world.
The
next question.
Do you think that too much fat can raise your blood sugar?
A keto influencer said it could. That's why I ask. You want to take that one, TaShawn?
I haven't seen it. I mean, I feel like a lot of fat is very healthy. Like I said, I do it for my brain because I know that was the missing piece. And of course, hormones, like everything. I don't see fat. Protein can
it is healthy for your brain. Now, anything if you're tracking blood sugars, anything you eat will raise your blood sugar. You'll have a reaction. Yeah. If you're eating a lot of plants, that's going to do it a lot more than if you're eating meat. Fatty meat is going to raise it to a lesser degree. So
right. I was going to say the fat itself, not so much, but the protein, I guess you had a scale, the fat will probably be the least to raise it. And then the carbs and sugar, the plants, of course, will be the more so to raise it. So
raise what?
The blood sugar.
Right. And so there's sugar in adipose tissue.
Oh.
Yes. So thank you. Yeah.
Next question. TaShawn, you're amazing. Is your family meat-based?
Thank you so much. No. I wish they were.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
Yet.
Not yet. We're working on it. My husband actually have a story about that. We're from Michigan. I've been in Florida since 2017, and my husband went to the best doctors. His blood pressure was always 200 over 100 and something. Literally not exaggerating. And he went to the University of Michigan. They told him, cut the fat, cut the salt, do all the things. And for the most part, he would, but he had, lifestyle that was not the best. And he came down here still not having the best lifestyle, still smoking and drinking, but he did change his eating with Dr. Jamnadas, being his cardiologist, and went low carb and low sugar, and his blood pressure, I'm sorry if I was saying sugar, his blood pressure normaled out to like 130/80, I believe it started averaging. So he knows that is a good thing to do because he's seen the results. And just trying to get him back there is the issue. So whenever I'm cooking, I'm not cooking with carbohydrates and things like that. I'm cooking more meat, and then if I do have a vegetable, it pretty much is to put some butter and cheese on it. So that
we're looking forward to meeting Dr. Pradeep Jamnadas tonight because he's coming to Dr. Kiltz house.
Oh, I wish I was there. Yes. He's great. My alarm keeps going on. Yeah, he was a doctor that changed my husband's mind. Although I was saying it for many, many, many years. Of course, the wife, my voice was like, and then the doctor's voice was like big.
Yeah. Let's see. TaShawn, do you get conflicts with other nurses or doctors when you bring up?
I'm sorry, it's low, but I can see the question.
Okay.
Do I get conflicts with other nurses or doctors when I bring up this way of eating?
Yes.
A lot less than what I think, because I did at Advent. I work at Advent, and they did a vendor event, and I was able to stand there and like teach. I had like this wheel, and so they would spin the wheel because one of my books is how the sugar deception. And so they would spin the wheel, and the wheel would go to whatever body system it was. And I was able to like break it down to them and explain it to them. And they were actually very happy to hear a different perspective because, they just been, following the guidelines or whatever and not really digging deeper into it. So for the most part, they're happy to learn. I don't have a lot of conflict just because I think the approach that I have, and if they do not want to talk about it or whatever, or they feel like they really don't say much, but they'll continue to teach their patients. A lot of times when I go in, because I start the cases, I give them as much information as I can. And I do tell them the next nurse may not know this or may not talk about this, but if you have any questions, let me know. And if the nurse has any questions, they can contact me as well. But I try to give them enough information so that they can kind of remember physiology at the end of the day, instead of just, remembering what the American Heart Association said about it. And if they do bring up the American Heart Association, I always talk about, well, they even recommend 6 teaspoons of sugar for a woman, 9 teaspoons of sugar for a man. So they're contradicting themselves already with the oatmeal, 10 teaspoons, and the banana, 6 teaspoons. So I try to bring it back to that's what it is. But no, I don't. I mean, I actually have been able to surround myself with like people who are pretty positive and understand it.
Next.
How do you convince your patients to pivot from their doctor's advice to regarding diabetes, they continue to believe their doctor?
So did you want to? Oh, for me, yeah. So it's what I do is I gently teach them, because my goal is to help you make informed healthcare decisions. I don't want to tell you what to do. And I always let them know, listen, I'm just going to give you the physiology of it. Because right now, the recommendations are still 45 grams of carbohydrates per meal with 15 grams snacks. So 3 meals at 45 to 60 grams of carbohydrates with 15 grams of carbohydrates with snacks. And I ask them, and I break it down into how much sugar that is. And I asked them, do you think that would you ever eat this much sugar in one setting? Would you ever, have this much? And do you think that this is going to get you healthier? And so I don't try to, my approach is to just teach them simple physiology, like going back to, this is what happens to your body. This is, they use insulin. Your insulin is there. You have too much already in your body when you're a type 2. It's too much going on. And then to force your body to use more by giving you exogenous insulin, it doesn't make sense. And so just really trying to get them to understand that this isn't working and it's never going to get better. You have to bring your sugars down you have to bring those numbers down to a place to where you're sensitive again and to where you can really reverse. Because I mean, there's been too much evidence that you can reverse type 2 diabetes and really
certainly can.
Type 1. Yeah.
All right.
Next question. How does the chronic inflammation from seed oils and oxalates complicate the recovery from type 2 diabetes?
Well, it's the the inflammation. You have to it's just not something that it's in the way. Like the inflammation it's all in the way. Whenever the seed oils, the omega-6 and the omega-3 ratios, so that would be like the vegetable oil, canola oil, and the margarines, plant-based butters, and all that, just for people who may not be aware, because they think that that's the best, that's the recommendation. And so having those in addition to having the type 2, it really makes it harder for your body to respond to the changes that you're making to help you with your type 2 diabetes. So it definitely complicates it on another level, because it's one of the things that can still cause the inflammation, and it can still cause you to not feel and be your best. It's not something our body even recognizes. Our body doesn't want that. So anything that is not physiologically correct for our body to be consuming will complicate any disease process. Like Dr. Kiltz keeps going back to the low fat. Whenever we're doing low fat, if it's a box food or a container or whatever, they replace that with sugar. And then they do all of these other things, that the bliss point, to try to make things taste so good. And a lot of times it is in combination with some of those bad oils. So it makes everything more complicated whenever you're not eating properly for a human.
Let's see. Did I read this one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, good. Do you have any doctors or dietitians that try to stop you from teaching their patients low carb, high fat diets?
By the way, this is also a nurse. She's retired, but she was a nurse like you.
Oh, okay. I don't. I taught a class, like the way that I wrote my book, Uproot the Cravings. It was a nonprofit group that hired me, and some of the stories and some of the things I learned from teaching this group, I've written in this book. But when I came back one day after the clients, we did 21 days, and then they wanted me to continue on, so I would pop in once a month. But the cholesterol for one of the women changed, and she was like, "You need to fire that." That nurse that told you to eat the fat and all of that, and I said, do you remember what we spoke about? And so I pulled out my other book, Sugar Deception, because I had written it by that time. That kind of helps people navigate through the LDL situation and what is really happening and all of that. And even though that doctor was, I've never met the doctor didn't ever approach me or whatever. And I don't know if she's going to make the decision to continue to eat this way. However, I just, was able to gently guide her back to physiology and let her know, the particle sizes of LDL and things like that. But yeah, the doctor, that's when the doctor, not direct, but the doctor had said, this is, this is stupid. Why are you doing this? And then I said, well, what's, just breaking it down, like, this is good for this, protein builds your brain, your muscles, your cartilage, your immune system, your bones, fat, your brain, just breaking it down physiologically and why that LDL is not as important. But no, I mean, not directly. I haven't really had any direct doctors to come against me.
Next question. Let's see here. This is not a question, but I wanted to see what you had to say about it. My friend and client, type 2 diabetes, has been current 5 years, gained 40 pounds, and fasting blood sugar in the 120s.
Okay. So, I mean, I think there's more information that's needed for this, because did she need to gain 40 pounds? Because the good thing about carnivore and things like that is some people need, they weren't at their good weight anyways. So, did she need to put on more muscle and fat and bones? Because a lot of times you're not going to find that weight gain in the belly area, but you may just be heavier because you're now gaining muscle. You're gaining the things that your body needs to survive. And also what are you eating? We have to be I'm like, be a detective. What was in that sauce? What was in that, So what are the blood sugars? What time are you taking the blood sugars? Is the dawn phenomenon affecting that? Is it first thing? Is it because, the natural sugar in your body just came out to help you wake up? It's more to it. So that's why too, having someone that can walk you through it is good, because people go for it, but they don't know all of these little nuances. Like I had a friend of mine, I wasn't coaching her, but she was like, my blood sugars are crazy and all of this, doing well, but she was doing the right things, but her stress level went up to a point of like panic mode. She was going through many, many crises. And so it's like, it's not the diet. You have to get your stress down. You have to sleep. Like there's so much more to it than just I'm eating better now. That's why it's good to have someone walk you through it. And if you can't afford to have like a one-on-one coach or someone walk you through it, look at the videos. Like, this is my symptoms. This is what's happening. Now, what is this doctor saying about this? Why am I having stalls? Why am I in my course? I have a course, at the end of the course, it talks about why you may be stalling or why you may be gaining weight or why this may be happening. And weight gain is not bad. Like I think Dr. Kiltz has said earlier, it's not an indicator that something is wrong. It could be an indicator that something is all the way right, because you could have been underweight all this time.
Well, I guess the question is, what is the right weight?
What is the right weight? Yeah, your body will.
What is the right weight? I guess it depends on the circumstance.
Your body tells you. Right now, I'm 5'3.5". Well, I thought I was 5'3.5" until somebody bust my bubble, but I'm 5'3". And according to the BMI scale, I'm supposed to be 115. I'm like, I will look like a little crackhead. Like I will look like a stick person. So, I like my weight at 150. So, and I feel good at 150. So it's like, no, don't try to put me somewhere where I don't belong. My body, I eat right, and my body has a set point, and that set point is where it is. So I don't do that.
Nice.
This is a good question.
What about fiber? How does that fit into the equation? What do you recommend to eat for fiber?
I think that if you're not eating the stuff that you have to poop out, then you don't need fiber. We're pooping out like bulk stuff from our diet, like
corn husks.
If our body, like when you eat meat, your body is consuming so much, like it goes to work. It's going to build your bones, your blood, your immune. It's going to go to work. And so what are you trying to poop out? So if you eating fiber is like eating a piece of egg with a little bit of cardboard. You're never going to digest that. So of course you're going to have the bowel movements because you can't digest it. And if you have all of this bulky stuff in your system that's trash from boxed food or whatever, you're going to have to use the fiber to kind of wash that out of your body. This is how simply I explain things.
Dr. Kiltz, do we need fiber?
We do not.
You absolutely do not have any requirement to eat fiber, and absolutely eating fiber is poisonous for humans because you're feeding the microbes, which are not your friends, by the way. It's another federal agency that basically is making money off colon cancer and hemorrhoids and IBS and Crohn's, and selling you another biologic or a surgical treatment or, you know, massive cancer treatments. But
what is it that you call it? Nature's
toilet paper.
Good one.
Plants.
Plants
are
by the way, this is for educational purposes only. You need to consult with your doctor. We're not your doctors.
This is entertainment.
But you do not need fiber. We can talk about that in another.
Jen, congratulations. You just won a Gen H654. You just won a Kiltz Method tribe hat. Please email me, alia@drkiltz.com. Thank you.
All right. Let us show this. Let's see. So
we should
TaShawn, if someone wants to get in touch with you, I'm sorry? TaShawn, is this the best place to get in touch with you?
Yes. You can email me at TaShawnDavisRN@gmail.com. I am on Facebook. This is one of the places I do post. I just made a group called Health Beyond Weight Loss, Insulin Resistance, and Metabolic Health on Facebook. So you can join that. I believe from this page, you can find out how to join. It's free. I will be putting up a challenge, a 21-day that's going to go along with my 21-day devotional and journal for sugar detox. So that will be probably starting. It's like a spring reset in March. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna. This Tuesday I'll be doing a webinar to talk about how CGMs can be helpful in recovery and getting healthy to understand exactly what sugar is doing to your body.
Very good. And you have your YouTube across all the platforms. If you search for TaShawn Davis, RN Health Coach, you will find her.
Yes. I'm trying to get better at social media, but I am on there somewhere.
Isn't it true that our problem isn't sugar, it's a low-fat diet?
Low fat is important. And I think it goes hand in hand because the low fat, if you do low fat, a lot of times you're going to have more sugar in your diet.
Proteins and amino acids and sugars hand in hand are both deadly without fat.
Yeah,
because this particular product right there is actually a high fat, low sugar, medium protein diet.
What kind of cut is that? That's beautiful.
Doesn't it look great? This is called the beef plate rib. This is from Bighorn Mountain Farms. Wow. And again, this is what all of our brothers and sisters should be eating because it has all the minerals and vitamins, and it's missing heroin, cocaine, marijuana, opium.
Why? That's fun stuff.
I mean, basically, nature made cows.
Right.
We have
for our health.
We have to go.
Thank you.
All right.